Mr. Inman, as I noted in my opening statement, there's a culture of complacency around school bus safety that is deeply frustrating. And I want to commend the NTSB for being a strong voice, swimming against a tide of that complacency, promoted by industry interests and every NHTSA leader, except for the former administrator, Mark Rosekind. NTSB has spoken clearly and convincingly that NHTSA should require large school buses be equipped with 3-point safety belts, automatic emergency braking, event data recorders, electronic stability control, and fire-resistant materials on fire suppression systems. Can you believe that none of those are in our school buses our kids ride every day? Mr. Inman, do you concur with NTSB school bus safety recommendations? And if so, can you elaborate on why enacting My School Bus Safety Act of 2023, which the National Sheriff's Association endorsed and which requires NHTSA to implement NTSB's recommendations, would help reduce or eliminate preventable fatalities in large school bus crashes?
Well, the short answer is yes. NTSB recommendations are very clear on this. They've been outstanding for a long time. And I can say personally, school bus crashes, one death is too many, one injury is way too many. But being from the state of Kentucky, where the two greatest school bus fatalities have occurred in Carrollton County and Prestonburg, is a tragedy that we're not able to protect our children any further. I know you've been an advocate on this, and most of your bill is actually written around NTSB regulations specifically. One exception, I think, on the 8-hour or 30-hour position. If I were to be confirmed, I hope I could be an even more vocal advocate on that, especially for those children that don't have a choice sometimes on that transportation method.
Thank you, especially for kids in our rural communities who spend hours on school buses trying to get home from school. Given today's hearing is examining a nominee to serve on MWA's board of directors, I would be derelict in failing to express the disability community's deep frustration that our aviation system still fails to make sure that every passenger with a disability is treated with dignity and respect. In a report published 2 years ago, the Government Accountability Office reported that, and I quote, essential travel information is not always available in a format accessible to all, and infrastructure barriers, including complex terminal layouts and long distances between gates, can be difficult for some to navigate. Mr. Slater, if confirmed, how would you make sure improving airport accessibility and the experience of travelers with disabilities is a top priority at DCA and IAD?
First, I would say thank you for the work that you're doing in the space. I think it's extremely important. With respect to the work that I do professionally outside of potentially being confirmed for the board at MWAA, this is something that we work on, we focus on with every project in real estate for retail tenants, for residential tenants. It's something that we've always gone above and beyond and view the current laws and requirements as sort of a baseline minimum and something to exceed. And specifically, with respect to travel and through the airports, it's extremely important that folks are able to have a pleasant travel experience and with dignity as well. So it's something that's extremely important to me professionally outside of my potential confirmation to the MWAA board.
Thank you. You should know that there's still gates at DCA that are not accessible. In fact, I've had to be taken down freight elevators down into the back in order to access, I think it's gate 10A or B, but there are still gates there that are not accessible. As noted in my opening statement, we're experiencing an alarming spike in dangerous runway incursions and near misses at airports across the country. We have been lucky that these have not resulted in fatalities, but they are a clear warning sign that the overall system is stressed. As NTSB Chair Hamady has said, the absence of a fatality or an accident doesn't mean the presence of safety. We are going to have a hearing on Thursday to examine this in greater detail, and I am looking forward to hearing more from Chair Hamady then. Mr. Inman, I just wanted to ask you, do you agree that the number of near misses we've been experiencing is alarming? And if confirmed, will you work to provide recommendations to improve our system's safety margins?
Absolutely. Any incident is alarming. We have a multi-layered system. It's the Swiss cheese approach. So there's obviously something coming through the different layers that are causing these incidents. There's a lot of opportunities to use automation. Surface detection systems are only right now installed on 43 out of 500 airports that have commercial flights. I know the chairman has taken a lot of advocacy on this and has actually impaneled some other hearings previously, or not hearings, but forums and roundtables. So it's important that we're looking at these incidents and trying to get ahead before we truly have a tragedy.
Thank you. I think that there is definitely a need to invest in workforce development, especially with air traffic controllers, pilot safety. In many of the near misses that we've had so far this year, it has been the pilot in the cockpit, based on their experience, who have actually averted the collision that could have happened. But certainly, a workforce development is something that is critically needed in our aviation system.
Would you like me to comment, ma'am?
Sure, please do.
Well, I think we're seeing it in not only the number of retirements that have occurred, but the staffing that the FAA has been attempting to try to achieve. I mean, we're looking at potentially growth, I believe. Fully trained controllers have fallen 10%, while airport traffic has increased 5%. And in May of this year, 3 out of 313 air traffic facilities met their target for staffing. I mean, there needs to be a greater emphasis on that. And as an NTSB board member, I hope I can help advocate and lend my voice to that as well.
Thank you.